How can you get your custody case heard sooner? Hi, I'm Alycia Kinchloe, the owner of Kinchloe Law, a family law practice based in the Philadelphia area. Now, one of the issues that a lot of my clients have had, or new clients coming to me have expressed, is that they've been waiting a very long time to get some issue decided in their custody case, or just to find out when their case is going to be scheduled or rescheduled. When the court shut down in March, a lot of cases were put on the back burner. If they were protection from abuse cases, they were still heard, but a lot of other situations that were not emergency did not get heard at all. And if you were in Philadelphia County, your case was actually canceled, or probably was canceled, if it was scheduled throughout the 2020 year. So again, the court shut down in March, and they came back in some semblance in June. But again, they canceled all of the dates through the end of 2020. Now, some cases were rescheduled if they were protracted hearings, which means that they were scheduled for longer dates. Some cases where there were relocation issues may have kept some of their dates or were rescheduled to similar dates. But a lot of cases were canceled. And that has caused a lot of issues with people who were waiting for a very long time, even before the shutdown, to have their case and have their day in court. In Philadelphia County, for example, prior to the shutdown, it was taking nearly a year from your master's hearing to get to a judge. So imagine waiting that long and having your hearing scheduled for maybe August of 2020 and then getting that canceled and maybe still not having a new date. So there are a couple of ways, one main way to actually get your issue either decided or to try to get an earlier date. And in Philadelphia County, that is done through a petition to expedite or a petition for special relief. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit first about the petition for special relief. A petition for special relief is when you tell the court that there is some pressing issue that needs to be decided ahead of whenever your regular custody hearing is going to be held. And that can be a custody hearing on a complaint for custody, which is where you're asking for an initial determination of physical or legal custody, or on a petition to modify custody. It can also be in a situation where maybe there's a contempt proceeding and you need to get something addressed in that situation. So maybe there's a disagreement about the exchange location, which we've seen as well due to the school shutting down and a lot of custody orders having the school or the pickup and drop off times related to the child's in-person schooling. And when you have another party who's completely willing to come to an agreement or to work with you, it can be very, very difficult. All right. The what you would do in that situation is that you would complete the petition and you will file it with the court. And there are a couple of ways that Philadelphia is accepting petitions at this time. They're accepting them through email, and they're also accepting them through mail. And the last way that it's pretty new is that they're actually allowing people to drop them off in the lobby. You want to make sure that you look at the requirements for the filing, make sure that your filing is complete so that it's not further delayed. Because if you're missing something, your filing may get sent back to you instead of actually filed, and then you have to start the process all over. And right now, the way that things are coming into the court is our understanding that it's still taking several weeks for them to process things once they are actually received by the court. So you don't want to wait 3 weeks to get your file processed only to have it sent back to you for a correction. So make sure you're looking at whatever it needs to be done very carefully. And once you file that petition for special relief, you'll get a court date. Now, generally the court dates are within 45 days to 60 days, and they're being done virtually. So they're going to be done using Ring Central, which is very similar to Zoom, and it's going to be limited to the special relief that is listed in your petition. And you want to review the requirements for service. A lot of these petitions require you to actually serve the other party and present proof that they're served. And additionally, you'll also have to present or try to present additional information with regard to telephone and email information so that the links to join the actual meeting can be sent to that person as well. So once you have your hearing, then you can actually argue why you need the special relief, and the judge can make a decision if they feel it's appropriate to do so based on that limited matter. Now, getting back to the expedited request, which again is similar to special relief, you're asking for an expedited hearing. It could be for the same reason. Basically, you need an earlier hearing date because of X. Maybe you've been waiting for a very long time. Maybe you have not been seeing your child because the other party's been withholding the child, especially if it's been a few months. Or there's some safety issue. If there's a safety issue, you really want to look at filing an emergency petition before the court, which is going to get heard a lot quicker. And we have done a video that talks about that as well. But your expedited hearing can be the same thing, asking for a quicker hearing date because of X. And you want to make sure that you have a good reason, because what you're essentially asking the court to do is to put your case to the front of the line. So there has to be a reason for them to do so. So sometimes going the route of a special relief request and asking for something specific that you need decided now that can't wait until the other hearing gets scheduled is often a good way to go. But as always, you want to make sure you speak with an attorney licensed in your state about the facts specific to your case, because they can help you to determine what is the appropriate way to complete your petition so that it outlines exactly what it is that you need to do, and so that it's more likely to be approved or granted by the court. All right, now these petitions or these hearings often are very short. If we were in court, a lot of the times there's no testimony from the other parties, or the parties represented by lawyers, and there's a lot of argument. And usually it's pretty quick. Most of the time, the judge will tell you not even to sit down. It's going to be a very quick hearing about why your petition needs to be expedited, or your relief needs to be granted ahead of your custody hearing. The idea is not for the judge to conduct a full custody hearing, because that would take a lot longer, and they have other requirements they need to consider, including the 16 custody factors, which they simply cannot do within the time constraints of a motion hearing. Now, if they feel like it is something that needs to be addressed quicker, what they could do is then schedule you for a custody hearing that affords you the time to go through all of those things, because it may be necessary. But you want to make sure that you're addressing that with your attorney so they can help you, again, structure your petition in the right way and then make your arguments in the right way. Now, sometimes this will help you to get an earlier date. Sometimes you might hear the unfortunate news that it's not a good enough reason for your case to get moved up, but you might end up with a date or some actual firm date, so you know what your actual date is going to be, because there are a lot of people who are still waiting to get any notice about when their dates might be scheduled. I hope this sheds some light on ways that you can ask the court to get certain issues resolved, or to try to get a sooner hearing date from the court. And again, the petitions for expedited relief or for special relief are often held within 45 days of them being processed by the court. And again, you just want to make sure that you have your complete petition ready to go, done well, your filing fee, and make sure you serve it on the other party. All right, I hope this, again, shed some light on that subject. If you have any other questions, or there are any other topics you'd like me to cover, if there is another county that you would like me to discuss with regard to the same issue, please drop that in the comments below. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell so that anytime we drop a new video in 2021, you get a notification. All right, until next time, take care.